Live from under the water tower in Austin, Texas, it's the monthly drone show that your mom likes to watch while she sits by the phone waiting for you to call. It's First Friday! Interesting guests, cool drone technology, Dr. Pepper, giveaways, and the fifth best looking host on a YouTube drone channel not named Ken. Give it up for Kelly Shores. Now, sit back, relax, and crack yourself a cold one because the show starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take it away, Kelly.
Hey, everybody. Wow, yeah, that always happens. We do a sound check, and then I come on, and I start yelling because I'm so excited. Hey, everybody, it's First Friday, September 1st, 2023. And if you think summer's over, think again, because it's not quite over. It's hot. It's still hot, very, very, very hot here in Texas. How's it going out there in the rest of the world? I saw a spotting of our old pal Doc Murdoch. Haven't seen him in a long time, so here I'm going to crack a Dr. Pepper for Doc Murdoch. Glad to see you, my friend. Thanks for joining us tonight. I see Leonard Oglesby. I see Flyzone. I saw Michael Wright earlier. I see Harley FPV. Dude, if you guys don't know, Harley FPV has been getting ripped. I've seen this guy's Facebook. He has been working out like crazy, and like seriously, every time he posts a picture, his muscles are just bow. You know, he's up there. You know, he was pretty intimidating before, and now if I'm gonna be in a bar fight or something, I want Harley on my side. I did before, but I really do now. So thanks for joining us, Trevor from over from Down Under. Good to see you. We got Chris Hope in the house. We got, like I said, Michael Wright. We got Dizzy Dean. Maddie, of course. Captain Ray is in the house. Good to see you. Dennis Lovelady's in the house. Max Air 420. Dang, we got a good crew in here tonight. Thank you, guys. Bam Drones, Michael, good to see you, man. Thanks for being here. We got a really good show tonight. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to reshoot the entire introduction because the background doesn't match anymore, right? It's kind of hard to fool you that that was all happening in real time because now, now it's something different. We moved into a different office space, and honestly, this is kind of temporary, but it actually works pretty well, I think. We are building out a studio that way, and we have been painting and hanging soundproofing and just doing a whole bunch of work on it for the last couple of days. Chris, Sunrise Water Media, has been here helping me with it, which is awesome. Always a big, hey, can you hit the applause button, Chris? Come on, when your name comes up. Yeah, I really appreciate his help. And of course, he's running the board tonight. So thanks to Sunrise Water Media for doing that. Tonight's going to be a great show because not only are we going to talk about Minefield, not only are we going to talk about Subscriber of the Month, not only do we have 2 minutes of hope, which is about Minefield, so it's a little meta, we also have the one and only Bacon Ninja here tonight. And if you don't know who this guy is, he is FPV. He's really chasing on the heels of that Bardwell guy. You know, I think he's going to be the next Joshua Bardwell, only taller and maybe a little hairier. So Bacon Ninja is somebody that you should definitely subscribe to if you haven't already. I think if you just search for Bacon Ninja FPV on YouTube, you're going to find it. He does tutorials. He's done a lot of stuff with HD0, kind of assessing whether that's worthwhile or not. So I think we should just go ahead and bring in Bacon Ninja. Where you at? There he is. Right there.
Here.
You want to do a high five? Boom.
Oh, I went the wrong way.
Other way.
Let's do that again.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Right. Boom. Got it.
Yeah.
So, man, I'm just going to call you Ninja. So, 'cause even though bacon is the awesome word, I feel like saying bacon, bacon, bacon is just going to make me hungry. So I'm going to say Ninja, Ninja, Ninja. You're in Texas. You've been flying. I saw a video of you flying on July 4th. How's it been going this summer?
Man, it is hot. And I never never fly under a canopy or anything. I just stand out in the parking lot, and this summer has just been terrible. But I still do it. I love FPV too much to not bake out in the sun and
Maybe you
get a
need to
little
get
greasy on the forehead.
maybe you need to get a sponsor that makes canopies, like Academy or something.
Maybe, but I'm not really athletic enough to get that kind of sponsor.
Oh, dude! Now wait a minute. Wait, that's a good question. Because a lot of people question is FPV flying a sport? Is it a sport or is it a hobby? What do you think?
It's absolutely a sport. Absolutely is a sport. It takes a lot of skill and a lot of practice, a lot of dedication. It just doesn't take physical aptitude beyond your thumbs, mostly.
Right. Are you a thumber or a pincher?
I have really good thumbs. I am a pincher.
Okay.
I pinch. How about you?
I'm a thumber. Thumber.
I'm going to have to leave the interview.
Now, wait a minute. That's what's wrong with this country. The thumbers and the pinchers can't seem to get along. I mean, Make America thumb again. That was something that MATA, or is it MAPA, Make America pinch again.
MAPA. That's exactly it. Make America. Oh yeah. Okay. I don't know. I just that's just where I fell into, and it's how I learned. So.
Well, I think for me it was more Xbox and Nintendo 64, and even I used to have an Intellivision. I don't know if you're old enough to remember Intellivision. Do you remember this system?
I've used one. Yeah.
Remember the controller was a disc? It was like a little round disc, and it was a weird. And you used your thumb. You couldn't pinch that thing. So,
right.
I think that's where my thumbing comes from. Is from you playing Intellivision all the time. What was your video game of choice growing up?
Oh man, video game of choice, Diablo. The whole Diablo series.
Sweet.
That was my whole thing. Yeah.
Nice.
I've been playing a lot of Diablo 4 lately.
Right. All right. Well, getting into the other big skill that you have, FPV. How did you get started? What was your how did you get started in drones in general? And where in your journey did you discover Ready Set Drone? Were you you were Googling best drone 2017 and boom, I popped up, or what?
Yeah, that's exactly it. No. You were actually in a lot of searches. I saw you guys pretty early on. As far as my journey though, I was into RC trucks.
Okay.
Way before the drones. And if you go really far back on my channel, some of that stuff is still there. So I built custom RC crawlers.
Wow.
Yeah, and that hobby was just way too expensive. It would cost $6,000 or $7,000 to build one truck.
What? So trucks are more expensive than drones? Wow.
Absolutely.
I guess
Absolutely.
If you're trying to make it look really authentic, right?
Yeah, I mean, you'd spend $2,000 just for little bitty parts to go on the outside, or shocks that look like real truck shocks. It's ridiculous.
Did you build them for yourself, or did you sell them?
I built it for myself. I actually started my channel. It was called Dad Bod RC, and I was showing people how to do that stuff.
Wait, Dad Bot or Dad Bod?
Dad Bod RC.
Okay. Actually, I noticed that in your email address that the word Dad Bod. I was like, oh, that guy. I like this guy. Well, so you were doing RC trucks, and then and crawlers. So they go slow, right?
Yeah, they go slow.
And what would be the ultimate crawler? I mean, it could crawl up on the couch, or it would go over rocks, or the dog, or what?
For me, it was more about the scale feel of it. So it had the capabilities of the real truck. They weren't necessarily like the best at crawling over rocks, but I took a lot of video of them, and in the woods in the right place, or in desert areas with rocks, you could actually take the video from a perspective that would look like a full-size truck. And the suspension moved the same.
Yeah,
all those things.
Chris has a video. You want to pull that up real? Or that one going up. Yeah, this is just kind of insane. I mean, I realize it's not. That's more of a buggy kind of thing. But man, look at that thing.
Yeah, that's a competition crawler, and those things are crazy. I never built one like that.
I mean, that looks like a spider.
Yeah, and they'll go up some stuff that you would not believe.
What?
It's ridiculous. Yep.
Yeah, like that.
Just straight up a wall. Yep.
I guess it helps if you take glue and just go all around the wheel, right?
The tires really are that way, though. They're super sticky.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so fast forward, you're building your trucks, and then when did you? Mm-hmm. I can remember actually when I saw and flew my first drone. When was yours?
Mine would have been July That'd be 2 years ago this past July.
Really?
Yeah.
You've only been flying for 2 years.
Mm-hmm. I've been flying for 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And was it built FPV, or was it a camera drone, or what?
My first quad ever. So I had never really flown a camera drone, never picked one up. I just kind of thought one day, wow, I understand DJI Mavics are really cool. They're super expensive. I wouldn't mind flying one of those, but it'd be really awesome if you could put something over your face and see through it while you fly.
Yeah.
And so I Google searched thinking I was going to have to build something like that, and just found the whole world of things. And my first quad that I ordered a bind and fly kit. And it was actually a Novice 3.
Okay.
So an ESC Novice 3 kit. Banggood made a mistake, and they sent me a Novice 4 instead.
Oh.
So I wound up getting the TX12 and the EV600D goggles and the little Novice 4 Dead Cat.
Nice.
I crashed that into a pole in the first week and destroyed an arm.
All right.
And then I built 2 Rotor Riot CL5s, the CL5 kits.
Nice. Okay.
Well, back when they were $200 each.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And then of course, were you flying? This was all analog at the time, right?
Oh yeah, I didn't get into digital until it was probably all close to the first year. Yeah, I was all analog up till then. Yeah.
I remember probably 2017, 2018 is when I flew my first FPV, and it was a Walkera analog, and it was definitely a cool experience. But I did not, and Doc Murdoch. Do you know Doc Murdoch? He actually is he's in Silver City, New Mexico. I think it's Silver City.
Okay.
Which you said you lived in New Mexico for a bit.
I lived in Gallup, New Mexico, so I've been way across the state from that. But yeah.
Okay. Well, he is an expert in antennas, and he's an expert in like reception and making analog. My first experiences with analog were generally pretty terrible, but I think it's because I didn't have the right antenna. I didn't have it set up right. I might have been flying at like 25 milliwatts and not turning the power up. I mean, there's a lot of things I was doing wrong. And then I met Doc Murdoch, and he came to Spin Up, this event in Austin, and he said, "Well, here, try my analog." And I was like, "Whoa, I can see, and it's going pretty far, and it doesn't break up." And so, but then of course the DJI Air unit came out, and that just kind of changed everything, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that just
Game
all of a
changer.
sudden you could actually see for a long way. And I'm not flying in a style that latency is too much of a factor. I'm not flying so close to things or such tiny gaps that a millisecond of latency is going to make much difference for me. But I can see stuff, and that's what I love about digital.
Yeah. Yeah, I have. I think at this point I have every digital system on the market. The only goggles I still don't have any HD0 goggles. Sadly.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you did for some reason. Didn't
No,
you?
they sent me a set.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
had to send them back.
Oh.
I had to send them back.
Oh man, never agree to that. Never agree to that. If you're gonna take
It was a favor. Ryan actually Ryan sent them to me as a favor. They were his extra set.
Oh, okay.
They didn't have any to give anybody, and yeah, I'm so broke all the time. I haven't bought a set yet. So.
Well, we've Chris and I have flown. He's got a set of HD zeros, and our first experience with HD zero was actually if you want to bring that video up, Chris, this is from the Hawk, the Apex, Emax's Apex.
Emax.
And this is recorded on the goggles, and yeah, not bad. I mean, this is a field I fly at a lot, and it's pretty clear except for that fence, except for a chain link fence around it. It's generally pretty clear. And we kind of sit up there in the trees to get a little bit of shade, because I don't like to sit out and bake.
There you
like
go.
you do.
There's the breakup.
Yeah, but honestly, compared to analog, it's still pretty amazing how clear that picture is.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people say it's not any better than analog. It definitely is better than analog. That hands down better than analog. The breakup takes some getting used to. You just have to fly it a lot to really feel how to fly through that breakup and know when you're going to get it.
Yeah. It also, I think it's one of those things where if it's going to break up, it's going to do it slowly. Like it's not going to just conk out on you like digital can do.
Right.
So
Yeah.
so actually, Chris, can you play the video from Minefield, the first one? So I went to the event in Tennessee, and I was flying first generation air unit on a GEP RC rocket. It's a little 4S. I love this quad, and I had the mini the Insta360 Go 3 on it.
Okay.
And it's I mean, even though it's a tiny little camera, it's a tiny little drone, little 4S drone, and so it struggles a little bit with it. But what happened immediately? I took off and I went over into, and I don't know if you're familiar with Minefield, but it's this sculpture this guy named Billy Tripp did in Brownsville, Tennessee, and Ken Herron got to be friends with him, and he like hosts an event there. It's the 4th year he's done it. 2nd year I've gone.
Yeah.
So I get up, fly through. There's metal boats, there's metal antennas, there's an airplane up there, and then I decide, all right, I'm just going to kind of stay close. And then when I went back into it, it starts breaking up, and then right here I can't see anything. It just disappeared, and I just set it down, and then but it wasn't like it broke up slowly. It just was gone. I don't know if somebody stepped on my channel. I was flying at 25 milliwatts, right?
Oh, okay. Super low
What's that?
output. Yeah.
Megabits, sorry, 25 megabits, not milliwatts. And we were all trying to stay on separate channels. But so this is the funny part. I don't know if you know Chris Hope or Jason Shappert, but they're both big guys in the community. We walked around for like 10 minutes, and finally Chris Hope heard it beeping and walked over. This is him picking it up and rescuing it for me. So shout out to Chris Hope. Thanks for finding my drone. And just to prove that it's him, he's got his name tag on.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean that breakup situation, all that metal, the multipath thing is just really terrible. I mean, for 5.8 gigahertz signals, the size hole you would need in something to make a reflective dish is pretty small, so that shouldn't be a problem there. But I bet you just had a ton of multipathing in that metal environment.
Do you feel like analog would have done better, or HD0, or is it's just so complicated? No matter what.
You likely would have been able to see more longer with analog, just because you probably would have dropped the chroma channels, so you would have dropped color.
Yeah.
But you probably would have had some black and white through fuzz a little longer than just total conk out.
Yeah, and it was literally like 45 seconds into my first flight of the day, and then so I decided. You mentioned. Do you know 400 AGL?
No, I don't.
Mel, so he actually he started building trucks. Like he's always been into RC planes, drones, and he's recently started doing trucks. 400 AGL is 400 above ground level, 400 feet.
Sure. Yeah.
Mel used to drive semi trucks. Actually, the first time I met him, he was passing through Austin in his truck. But he's been building these models, buying them, building them. I think he also customizes them and sells them to people, like buys it stock and then does some cool custom stuff to it. But I had a chance after I crashed in the sculpture. I got to go over and chase him a little bit in this area. There's this big empty field next to it, and John Coopy and I were over there with him, and he was driving this little car. I don't know if you're from Texas, so you know ZZ Top, right?
Yeah.
So
sure. Yeah.
This looks like the Eliminator car. Remember that? Remember the was that old 54? I think it was a 54 or 53. Anyway, that's it right there. And so I was chasing him with that little underpowered GEP RC, but it was fun. That's just a blast to chase something, I think.
Yeah, and that's a small target to chase too. It's a lot harder to chase a small car like that than you would think, and to stay with it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, especially the way I fly, but and then also
we'll blame the quad. It's not your fault. We'll blame the quad.
Thanks, man. I appreciate. Well, and you're right. Probably chasing a bigger target with a bigger drone, like with a 6S, is going to be an easier thing to do because it's basically just more to stay behind. Yeah, he almost hit me there.
Yeah.
But what a blast that was. It was.
Yeah, it looks fun.
Yeah, that whole field over there on the left is kind of near, and if you're getting a lot of interference, I feel like you can go over there and fly and probably not step on
it's
anybody
probably
else.
a whole lot better over there. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I remember 2 years ago or 3 years ago when I went there, there were some old guys sitting out there, I guess just hanging out, some old guys, and they were just watching everybody. And somebody put the goggles on one of them who had never seen FPV before, and he was just like, "Oh my god, oh my god!" He was just kind of having
Yeah.
a little bit of a freak
That's
out.
always the best, man.
Yeah.
I love doing that for people.
No,
It's the best reactions.
it's what do you find? Do you just have a second pair of goggles if you're gonna let somebody fly with you, or do you fly line of sight and just give them yours, or how do you typically do it?
So I can't fly line of sight to save my life. Like if you take the goggles off my face, you might as well just take the radio from me. It's bad. So I normally, like if I know someone's going to be out there, I have a second set of goggles. But in my bag, I usually have 3 sets of goggles anyway. Just because I'm always out testing a bunch of stuff and I never know what systems I'm going to be bringing that day.
Right. I think you
So
called
I
your
just throw a
goggles.
set on them.
We watched a video of yours earlier, and Chris, if you want to roll it just with the sound down. First of all, I'm super impressed with your flying style because wait, I think there you go. I think you fly in this just sort of controlled chaos way, but you called your goggles soupy when you took them off. You said, "Yeah, they're kind of soupy."
Yeah, it was so gross.
Yeah,
And especially those DJI goggles in particular, they don't have foam.
yeah.
They've got the rubber
Yeah.
gasket still. So yeah, it's just disgusting under there. But, when I'm flying, I don't notice. It's only when I take it off.
So tell us about this flying style. I mean, you do a lot of twists and twirls and just crazy stuff that almost looks unintentional, but you always pull it off. Like, how did you learn that?
So honestly, this is just what goes through my head. That's just what the inside of my brain looks like.
Wow.
It's just chaotic in there, and it comes out in my fingers.
Bacon
as
drones,
far as-
bacon drones.
Yeah, that's really it. The more bacon I eat, the faster it gets. That's really all there is to it. As far as intentionality of it, I know where I want to go. I know the direction I want to go in. How I get there is sometimes flourish, and I like to be as close to crashing in some things as I can be.
Yeah.
That's just how I like to spend my time.
You can tell from watching, but it makes it exciting, right? It makes it really fun.
Especially when all you have is flat places to fly, like where the part of Texas I live in is super flat. So there's not any features. There's no big bodies of water. The trees are only 8 foot tall.
Yeah, you were power looping some covers, some little picnic
pavilions
covers.
out there.
Pavilions, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I just recently kind of got the power loop down, like decently. And I'll tell you, when you pull it off perfectly, it's so satisfying.
Yeah, and then you have to do it twice, and that second time's always the disappointment.
Right. It's like, okay, I got it. No, I quit at 1. I'm like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah, one and done. You got your good one and leave. And power looping is actually a lot harder than you'd think. It looks like a simple thing whenever you watch video of it, but it's actually a lot harder than you know. Yeah, there's me.
With your
measuring the heat of my motors.
Yeah, like 130 degrees or something.
Yeah, and they were probably hotter than that. I just didn't get a good spot because it was the concrete on my feet was 140.
Yeah, it's really, I think being on a big open, there's like no place you could go that's a little shadier than that and not a big concrete thing. I mean,
yeah, no, not in. So I think somebody just asked where I live. I live in the Lubbock area.
Yeah,
and 3/4 of that town is controlled airspace.
Oh yeah.
The rest of it is all privately owned property that nobody lets you fly on. There's no abandoned buildings; they tear them down immediately.
Yeah.
So this is actually a park. It's just an abandoned park that is no longer abandoned. They built that big building over there. But I would go up. That's really the only place I could find that was safe enough and large enough where people didn't hang out to fly.
Where you're not.
But I just recently moved, and I have land now. I haven't actually got to fly my property yet. So hopefully I'll be able to fly in my own property and not have to worry about baking my feet standing on that parking lot.
So you are going to be Joshua Bardwell. You're going to just do all your
but I have
on your
way
porch.
more hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have.
Oh, you're
Way
better
more heavy.
looking. You're better looking than Bardwell by a long shot.
Oh, I don't know. Bardwell's a good-looking guy. He's a good-looking guy. He
Yeah.
just my head's not as reflective yet. Give me a few more years of making YouTube videos,
Right.
and I'll probably be
Your hair will start to fall out. That's why I wear a hat.
yeah,
Well,
yeah, exactly.
Well, so in terms of getting started in this hobby, a lot of people who watch this channel, I started off with camera drones and toy drones and all that sort of thing, and I certainly consider myself a dabbler in FPV. I mean, I can't do any of this stuff, but I can power loop and I can fly through some stuff.
Yeah.
And I've been able to do even some fly-throughs of getting paid to fly through some houses and bars and stuff like that, which has been fun.
That's cool.
How did you get to this level? Did you do a lot of training on the sim, or did you start off with like just a beater and just beat it, or what happened?
A little bit of everything. So I did a lot. I'm not gonna say a lot of sim. I did sim. I spent
What's your
before
favorite
I
sim?
flew my.
What's your favorite sim?
Oh, right now, it's Uncrashed.
Uncrashed.
Trip is a close second.
Okay.
Close second is Trip, and then third, I'd probably put third at Liftoff.
Okay.
Well, okay, depends on what I'm doing though. Velocidrone is the best racing sim. So if I'm racing, Velocidrone.
Right on.
But yeah, I did a lot of sim before I flew my Novice. I spent, I don't know, a couple hours a day for a week, flying with a Xbox controller, which I pinched an Xbox controller, so that was awkward.
Yeah.
And then I went out and flew my Novice. I broke it, and I would just, after I built my 2 freestyle quads, I would just take packs out after work, and all I had was 2 or 3 packs, I think. So I'd charge them up and fly till they were dead, and I just did that a lot. For the first year, I actually took 2 hours every Wednesday off of work just to go fly.
Wow.
I used all my vacation time to go fly that year.
Yeah. And that, just a quick story on when I decided I wanted to really be comfortable flying acro. I went out for, I've told this a lot of times on this channel, but I went out for a week, like 7 days in a row, and did 10 packs, 7 days in a row every morning. And it was winter, or I'm sorry, it was summer in Texas. And I was getting up at 6 so I could be out at the field by 6:30 so I could be done by like 8. That included
before it got hot.
That included crashes and walking over to get the drone and jumping fences and all this stuff. But if you just immerse yourself in it for a number of days and force yourself to fly acro, you can get comfortable with it.
Yeah, and you're gonna crash and you're gonna break a bunch of stuff, but that's just part of the process.
Honestly,
you just have to do it.
That's part of why I like 4S quads is because they seem to be a little more forgiving on crashes because they're not as heavy and they don't have as much mass, and they're not going as fast usually. So I learned on the Gep RC Rocket. It was just like, and that one's got ducted. Yeah, it is. It's got ducted. Really, the only thing I broke was the ducts. I just had to replace those, but the arms stayed in place. And I wasn't. There's these things we call the red devils, and they're these metal structures in a field, and they're painted red. And I had all these little red marks all over it from where I hit the thing.
From whacking it.
Yeah, the nice thing was though that quad would bounce off and kind of keep going a lot of times.
Yeah, with the ducts and being smaller. Mine were. I did 6S right out of the gate. It was 6S right out of the gate, and I think my 2 Rotor Riot builds, when I was done with them, by the time I slapped on my TPU, were like 800 grams a piece.
Wow. Oh, okay.
So they were big, stout quads.
Lot of quad there. Advice for people? I mean, is there anything you wish you had done differently in getting into it? Do you wish you had flown the sim more, or do you wish you had gone with a smaller quad to start, or what?
No, I think I did it exactly how I needed to. I just got really lucky. I did enough sim time. I love building electronics. I've been doing that since I was a little kid. So I built my own quads, which I wanted to do. It's just so different for everybody. There's going to be some people that benefit from a lot of sim time before they ever go out. There's going to be some people that benefit from just going out and crashing it till they learn. It's just going to be totally different. And I guess the advice I'd give everyone is don't feel like what somebody else did is going to be exactly what you need to do.
Right.
Just do what feels like you need to do until you're comfortable.
And really, if you can, I would say if you can start with a ducted quad, you might save yourself a lot of time, because not break, because
You'll
every time
probably
you
save
break,
yourself repairs.
yeah, breaking
Yeah.
breaking props is not a big deal, but it's 10 minutes, 5 minutes to go get it. But if you can turtle mode a ducted quad, if you
Yeah.
have that set up, that makes it just, oh yeah, I don't have to get up and walk all the way across this field, walk of shame, right?
Yeah.
Well, so in terms of your other stuff, I mean, have you flown any Mavics or any camera drones, or did you just go straight into FPV and never even did that?
Straight into FPV. I never even touched one.
Wow.
Yeah. And I
Where's the
still
coolest
have it.
place you ever flew? Like, have you ever gone
Coolest
anywhere
place
with
I
your
ever
quad?
flew.
And
It's not really places. I mean, I haven't gone anywhere very interesting. I have little kids, so going places is
yeah,
not ever going to happen for me.
it's a big deal.
But some cool things I've gotten to do. I guess I did go to a place. I went to Roswell, New Mexico,
Nice. Yeah.
and I chased circle dirt track cars.
Oh,
So I chased a bunch of those, and I had only been flying FPV for like, I don't know, 5 months.
and then they saw
I did
you and
that.
chased you out of the park. They're like, "Go away!"
No, they they
kidding.
wrote me on Facebook and asked me to come do it.
Yeah. No, I was joking.
Yeah.
Like
But
usually,
it was a lot of fun.
usually when I say I chased this guy, I chased this bicyclist or a motorcycle, and then he caught me, he saw me, and he's like, "Hey, speaking of that, what's your take on remote ID? Any thoughts on that?"
Man. So again, that's going to be a very personal subject for everybody. It just depends on what they're comfortable with.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell anybody that they should absolutely go buy a remote ID module. It just depends on your situation. If you're one of those people that can't live with yourself, if you had to have the conversation with someone, if they asked you about it, if you feel like that would not be a situation you want to be in, then maybe it's for you. I don't see it panning out very well. I mean, so far I haven't seen the major availability of any modules to attach to my quads.
Right.
It's September 1st. I mean, officially now I'm supposed to have one, right?
Yeah, and you live out in kind of in a place where there's lots of land. You're not in a really thickly populated area. I mean, looking at that video of the park, I didn't see a single car, a single person. Of course.
Yeah, it's the only empty spot. There's like over close to 400,000 people in that town.
Yeah, no, I know, and Texas Tech is there, right? So,
Yes,
but
a lot of college kids.
But again, when you have a big open space like this,
you
remote
can
ID feels like
get 'em.
less of a, especially if you're just out practicing or something. I agree with you. I do think it's a very personal thing, and as far as how you react to it and what you want to do with it, I've just it feels like if it is going to take effect, it's not going to be immediate. It's going to take a long time.
Yeah, I mean, even rules for spotters, all the ones that exist currently, I can't say, because I've had some conversations with law enforcement officers. I've actually had some come up to me while I'm flying at this spot and fly their Mavic with me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so they're city issued Mavic. I just don't think there's a lot of awareness with the existing rules. It's going to take them forever to get a level of awareness where they could even begin to enforce new rules.
Yeah. No, and it still comes down to common sense, right? Are you putting people in danger? And obviously, in this
Right.
footage, you're not. You're that thing could blow into a million pieces right there, and with the exception of a possible grass fire, nothing else is going to happen, right?
Yeah, I'm the only person that could get hurt with that quad in this scenario.
Yeah.
So
You ever flown it into yourself?
no, but I saw a guy do it there. Yeah, I crashed there. I saw a guy do that at this spot. I took my son. My son is 5. And I had recently reviewed the Cetus X, the Beta FPV Cetus X. So I took him out to this same spot and let him fly the Cetus.
Nice.
Because at 5, he can fly acro.
Wow.
Yeah, he's picking it up fast. Anyway, so I let him fly that, and he was done with his packs for the day. And there was another guy out there when I pulled in flying FPV, and I had never seen him before. And he had his son with him, and his son was a little older. And I flew in my little side. He flew on his. It looked like he was flying HG0 in the box goggle HG0s.
Right.
Anyway, I pack up all my stuff, take my son home, and right as I'm pulling out of the spot, this guy flips around himself. He's standing behind his truck, and then just throttle punches and hits himself right under the goggle
Oh,
in the face.
goodness.
And he just goes straight to the ground.
Was it a 6S?
And he's yeah, it
Oh.
was a 6S 5-inch quad. He goes straight to the ground, bleeding everywhere. And then his drone flies off to never be seen again.
Oh,
He didn't
man.
disarm it, and he didn't have a buzzer, and he didn't have any motor tone set up.
Wow. Yeah.
So I went over and I checked on him,
Yeah.
and he needed some stitches under his eye. But
This
I
was
went
the
and looked for his
father,
quad.
not the son.
Right, it was the father. The son actually was already out looking for the quad after we checked on his dad, and we spent 2 hours walking around in that same field and never could find the quad.
Man. So if you have a metal detector and you're good at finding stuff, head out to Lubbock. There's a quad. There's
you
a
might
quad.
find yourself a quad.
Yeah, yeah. Well, speaking of that, actually, so we were talking about Minefield earlier. First of all, Chris, can you throw some of those pictures up? These are some of the folks that that were at Minefield this year. It's Ken Herron's event. He's done it for 4 years now, and it's a cool place to fly, with the exception of all the interference and stuff. But the guy with the beard next to me is Mel. He's the one that builds the custom trucks, 400 AGL. And Bob Casey and John and Michael
John Coopy,
Wright.
yeah.
John Coopy in there. It's the first time I ever met John in person, actually, which was pretty cool.
He's a cool guy.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, actually, can we roll that video of his? So, or do you want to just go to the next picture real quick? I'll just Brad and Jenna. It was a cool picture of them. Oh no, there's Dustin and Mel again. Again with the thing in the background. But yeah, and there's Brad and Jenna. It was just a great event. It was really fun to see these people that you interact with in person all the time. But John Coopy, he and I walked over to that field, and Mel was running a RC truck, and there was another guy. So Mel's truck I thought was awesome. It was like pretty big, looked really fast, and he let me drive it, and that was fun. And then this other guy shows up, and he has a monster truck, and I think he said it was 1/5 scale or 6 scale.
A big old truck.
Yeah, you'll see here in a second. So I think that's Mel's truck. That's the little one that Mel was driving, I think. And then this other guy shows up with a truck that was probably 4 times as big as that one, and was ripping it through that field. But look at this. How fun is that? Especially because they had just mowed that field. Is it mown or mowed? I don't know. But the field had grass in it, and you can see it all. Oh no, I guess that was the bigger truck. That's the bigger truck that he's chasing right now. And then Mel's truck. You'll see them side by side here in a second. But yeah, just throwing up that dirt everywhere, or not the grass, right, as it's going. I mean, look at that thing. That thing's surely a monster truck. I was scared.
Yeah.
I was scared of him hitting me with that, because I said, run it close by, because I was trying to get some shots of it with my camera as it went by. A 1/8 scale.
Yeah, that's 1/8. Yeah, that's the size of my crawlers. My crawlers were that big.
Wow. Okay, so they would crawl over some stuff.
Oh yeah, they'd crawl over a person if they wanted to.
Well, these I think the idea. I mean, both of these trucks that they were driving were super fast. But man, John killed it. John Coopy killed it with the chase. I think he said he was flying what did he say? He said it here in just a second. It's a 30.
Is Senate race? That's a 20.
No, it was in the John.
Is it ducted?
No, I don't think so. Of course, if it says Senate, it usually is ducted, right?
Yeah.
John, tell us what you were
There's
flying.
a Cinnabot 30.
I think that was it. The
Cinnabot.
Cinnabot 30.
Cinnabot.
Yeah. Anyway, it was really fun. If you ever get a chance to go out to Tennessee, I recommend this event.
Yeah, when my son, when he gets older, he's going to want to go to all this stuff, and I'm eventually going to get to. I get to at least take him around.
Cinnabot 30, with a naked GoPro 8.
Cinnabot.
Yeah, no, it was.
Oh, I just wonder what the camera was. Yeah.
It was awesome to meet him finally in person, and then see a lot of people I've seen many times before, including Chris Hope. He was out there, and just a very cool setup. The big thing too with this though is if you do fly by yourself often and you're used to just turning your drone on, you really gotta understand that you can't just do that, because you'll knock people out of the sky.
Yeah, you've got to. Do they have anybody organizing that, or is it just everybody talk to each other?
No, they did over by the sculpture where all that metal stuff is. They actually had
Mhm.
little pins, a little car, or they
Oh,
were like
you
keychains,
take your
and
channel.
you'd write
Yeah.
your name on it, put it on what channel you were on. Most people were
Okay.
flying DJI, digital,
Yeah.
and then everybody was flying at 25 milliwatts. Okay, what? Not milliwatts.
Did you
Megabits. Sorry. Why do I
it-
keep saying milliwatts?
megabits?
Yeah.
Yeah. On DJI, 25 megabits. Yeah. Did you fly? So you were flying that HC0 quad. Did you fly anything else there after you had that video blackout?
Just the GEP RC rocket. That was the only thing I had with
Okay.
me. I was actually on my way back from a trip to New York. We were driving back to Texas, so
Oh, okay.
we kind of
That's a
planned
long
it.
drive, buddy.
It's 3 days in the car. We
Yeah.
planned it so that we would be here on that day, and so it worked out really great. But the thing is too, though, when I go to these events, a lot of times I'm just going more to be social than to fly. I mean, there were some guys that were ripping through that thing, but I'd rather visit with people and get to know
Yeah,
people.
just hang out and be
Yeah.
just fly a little bit and have the fun. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's one of the best things about FPV is the community.
yeah.
Even if you don't have to be a killer pilot to have fun and then enjoy the events.
Who are some of the pilots you really look up to?
Oh man, Vitrafly. Have you ever seen Vitrafly?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, his style is something I want to learn how to do. I cannot be that smooth that close to the ground. It's crazy to me.
Do you know Gab
Yeah.
707?
Yeah,
I
do.
I really like his style. He's very, very smooth. Like kind of the opposite of you, honestly. And I like your style too. They're just they're two extremes.
different things.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, he's doing like chasing mountain bikes and snowboarders and all this kind of stuff in Switzerland and Alaska. And it's funny. I was watching some snowboard competitions on ESPN. Just I like snowboarding and I like to watch it. And I'm watching it, and there's drone shots, and then the credits at the end. I was like, I wonder who the drone pilot was, and it was Gab.
Yeah, he does some crazy stuff. He's really, really good, and he's a great racer.
And I've met him a couple times. Just a super nice guy. Like really.
Yeah, he seems like he'd be a great guy.
Real chill, down to earth. He's Swiss, but he lives in Canada, so he's kind of got that Swiss precision and Canadian niceness.
Maple syrup. Oh,
Yeah. My wife's Canadian, so
okay.
I do love some Canadians. Yeah, I think this is footage from Gab right here, flying through these mountains. I mean, just
Yeah, that's beautiful, man.
look at that. Oh. And if you crash up there, you're not getting that drone back.
No, you're definitely not, and you're not getting the camera either.
You're not
which is
getting the
worst
footage.
part.
Yeah. It would be the thing too. I hope you have your goggles rolling, but it's not going to look quite that smooth and buttery. But wow.
Yeah, man, I'd have to drive a long way to find something like that from this part of Texas.
Well, you could go to Angel Fire, right? That's not.
Yeah, that is true. A lot of theirs though is so wooded. It'd be really hard to find something like this.
Oh
where
yeah,
it's mostly rock and stone.
I don't think Angel Fire has much above the tree line. Or Red River. You ever been to Red River?
I have not been to Red River. I have a lot of friends that go there. But I have not.
Ruidoso.
I have been to Ruidoso. I did a little flying there, but it just was a lot more family time than flying, and none of the footage was any good.
Yeah.
So.
No, man, you gotta. Well, how about Austin? Okay. So here's the thing. It is very hard to find. You were mentioning abandoned buildings, like not having them.
Mm-hmm.
Like all these people that live in the east, like up in the northeast.
Yeah.
There's
They're
all
just
these
everywhere,
old, yeah,
right?
yeah, like Philadelphia, Detroit. You name it. There's just all these abandoned buildings. But in Austin, there's really not many. Austin's not a very. It's an old. It's been around for a long time, but. Like there's not those old. Same thing when a building's done, property values are too high for them to let stuff just sit.
They resell it, tear it down, build something else.
Yeah. But I did find a really cool abandoned building that Chris and I go fly in. I'll just tell you two quick stories. The first time we were there, we were with the guy 1T FPV and Chris Sunrise Water Media and myself, and we are kind of all sitting on. They have a little skateboard park they've set up inside this place. We're kind of sitting on the little skateboard ramps and stuff, and then I look down. I'm on this box, and I see a foot, and there's a guy asleep in it.
Oh, okay.
And,
At least there was
yeah,
someone
there was
foot.
a body attached. There was a body attached to the foot, and I was just like, hey man, there's somebody in there.
Just didn't mean to wake you.
Anyway, I ended up buying the guy a burger, and he hung out and said, "Hey man, you want to get high?" I was like, "This is how I get high."
Maybe some other time.
Oh, did you see that there? Wait, can you go back, Chris, just a little bit?
You get stuck in the rafter?
Yeah. Check this out. Oh no, I totally tried to do that.
Oh sure, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so this was just a little. I was trying to just go up through that. I wasn't sure where all the vines were, and I got stuck there.
Oh, you just caught your right side.
Yeah. But I managed to get it down with a stick.
It's not in the worst spot for getting stuck.
No.
That's for sure.
As a matter of fact, I think you'll see here. This is how it ended up coming down. It's just
poke it with a broom.
Poke it with a broom, And then my buddy Scott, he got his stuck up in one of those little towers, and we had to move all these tables and like move a bunch of stuff in there and climb up on it, and it was an adventure. No.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is again, that's not something you get a lot of in Texas. So if you ever come to Austin, we'll go there.
Yeah, I mean, I sometimes get out for work, so maybe at some point I'll go down there for work and call and just bring my drones.
You do tech stuff, or you do what is?
Yeah, I'm a professional nerd.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Good. Well, generally professional nerds are in high demand these days, right?
They are, thank goodness.
We all want our I everythings and our OS everythings and our Google everythings, and so
I'm the guy that gets to fix all that stuff.
Someone's got to make it work, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to real quick. We have a thing we call hidden hashtags, and the hidden hashtags. This is like here's a little tip for your YouTube channel. Not that you need it because you're growing like crazy, but if you want to get your watch time up, you hide a hashtag in your video, like just a little text with Kelly sucks or bacon forever, or
something random
for a couple of frames. Usually it has to do with what's going on in the video, and then if people find it, they put it in the comments, and then if they put it in the comments, they get their name on this wheel, and then they get to actually win a prize every week.
That is cool.
We spin the wheel. So these are all the people: Trevor, Bob Casey, Chris Hope. These are all the folks that actually found the hidden hashtag and put it in. So if you'd like to do the honor, I think you'll use your left hand and you'll go up. And if you want to spin the wheel, you kind of left hand, and then you have to go start low.
That's this way.
No,
that's this way.
Yeah,
okay.
and then go down low.
Start low and push it up.
And then push up. You ready? 1, 2, 3,
okay, I'm ready.
Go. Nice.
Yeah.
Wow, good spin. Yeah, we're going to see who won the hidden hashtag. And it's Joe Blaylock.
Oh, so
yes.
Well, right on the line.
Man, I'll tell you, honestly, I like Trevor. Trevor Fuss is a cool guy. He lives in Australia, and he's won stuff for me before, and I had to ship it to Australia, and it's not cheap. So I was kind of team Joe Blaylock on that one. So I haven't seen Joe in the chat, so he might not be here tonight. But I'll let Joe Blaylock. I'm gonna write that down right now. Joe Blaylock. So have you ever been on Ken Herron's show?
I haven't.
I've
watched it a lot.
You know what he does to people? He says.
I mean, he does a lot of things to people.
Hey Ninja, tell us a joke.
Tell you a joke.
And then he walks away. Like, you got a joke?
Yeah. No, I don't have a joke. My brain is mush.
I'm gonna tell you a joke that I think Doc Murdoch might have told me, or maybe I told him, but I've told this a million times, but I think it's hilarious. Did you hear about the wedding of the 2 antennas?
I have not.
2 antennas got married. Well, the wedding wasn't that great, but the reception was amazing.
Wow. I deserve that. Yeah.
Hey, by the way, what do you think of that right there? You seen this guy?
The shirt?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I like that it's wearing goggles. It's got the goggles too on.
Yeah. It's got the goggles too. It did have the original goggles on. It's got a Ready Set Drone shirt.
I like it.
And a pink. You want one?
I like it a lot.
You want one?
Yeah.
Email me your shirt size and your address, and I'll send you one.
Okay. Cool.
All right.
I will wear it on camera several times.
Thank
just
you.
Like 533 shirt's getting worn out a little bit.
Sweet. Well, I'll might send you a couple shirts if you're going to wear them on camera.
I'll wear them on camera.
So that's my what's your I guess your FPV is Bacon Ninja.
Yep.
So mine is Tex Rex, and it's like I'm like a dinosaur because I'm really old.
I get it.
And I got little short arms, and I'm flying.
But do you hold your radio like that when you fly?
I do, and I go. "Ah." Tex
That's
Rex.
gonna make it really hard.
Tex Rex mad. Tex Rex hungry. No, it's a couple of things. So TX and RX, right? Transmitter receiver.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
Tex
yeah.
Rex. And then Texas. We're from Texas. And RX being Rex. Rex actually means king. Did you know that?
Okay. Yeah.
Like Tyrannosaurus Rex was the king of the dinosaurs.
Yeah, king of the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, lots of hidden meanings there.
Yeah.
One more random thing before we move on. I always liked. Well, I often forget to plug my podcast. But if anybody out there has not listened to my podcast, you've probably never heard my podcast, have you? Do you listen to podcasts?
I didn't know you had one. I recently started.
Cool.
This week is the first week I've ever done it. So.
Well, then my timing is perfect.
Yeah.
So do you like if you're driving, if you're cutting the lawn, you're doing the dishes, you got your earbuds in, you know, but really driving. Like if you're driving somewhere of any distance, a podcast is a great way to pass the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Dirt Nap City, and it's a show about interesting dead people. So we basically take people you've heard of, John D. Rockefeller, for example. Did you know that do you know anything about John D. Rockefeller? What comes to mind?
I read a book about him once, but it was a long time ago.
Okay. Well, he was actually the richest man in the world for quite a while.
For a while.
And even now, with adjusted for inflation and based on world population per capita, he would still be like the richest person ever.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
He started Standard Oil Company, which you probably know from the book, and it got busted up by antitrust laws. And what's interesting about it is instead of like they were trying to punish him and shut down his monopoly, well, when they busted it up, he was still the majority owner in all the companies that were formed from it, 12 companies. And guess what they became? They became Exxon. They became Mobil. They became Chevron. They became Texaco.
He owned
all the gas. And this is right around the time when cars were getting big. And so he actually at a point he was making so much money he actually couldn't give it away fast enough. Like he wanted to, he was a philanthropist. He had a lot of issues too, but he was a philanthropist, and so he had to hire a guy to help him give away his money, like full-time money giver awayer. So anyway, that's kind of stuff.
I've never had that problem.
Evel Knievel, that's another guy. Have you ever heard of him?
I have.
Yeah. Yes. So we go deep on Evel Knievel. It's with a buddy of mine who is a professor at University of Houston, and we went to high school together, and he's really funny. So he just, makes jokes the whole time about these, and it's pretty funny. So, if you're gonna listen to a podcast, Dirt Nap City, please, consider. So
then now that I moved, I have a commute, so I'll definitely check you out.
All right, I appreciate. Yeah. Send me a note and let me know what you think, and I will send you a Tex Rex shirt, Freddy Set Drone shirt, and then I'm getting Dirt Nap City shirts done soon. So
cool.
I'm going to send those out to the early subscribers, like my brother Brad from Virginia, always listens to Dirt Nap City. So I appreciate that. So
check it out.
We have another thing. Oh, actually, before we go on, you said you had never had the pleasure of meeting Chris Hope. Chris Hope lives in East Texas, so he's kind of opposite side of the state as you. And Chris is he's been in the drone community forever. He is one of these guys that is just always helping other people out. And he makes a video for me every month for my live stream called 2 Minutes of Hope. And this month, coincidentally, his video is it's footage from Minefield with a really cool closing shot because you get to see it at night. So we'll just kind of bow our heads for 2 minutes of hope and check it out, and then we'll be right back. Yeah, boy, this is why we're here. Yeah, that whole place was built by a guy named Billy Tripp, and he climbs all those towers, just free climbs them. He doesn't rope in or anything, and he's like 62 years old or something. It's kind of insane.
Keeps him young, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, he's in good shape. He's an odd dude, but very artistic and very giving to let us all come on and fly around his space, you know.
And it looks like a crazy place to fly. I'd love to fly there.
I know. I was watching Chris fly, and then I was thinking, I wonder where Ninja would go right now. I bet.
Yeah, I would be all around in the little holes everywhere I could be.
So you know, I learned a long time ago. I had a friend who actually he was a video. He did live events, and he did kind of the video for live events. He would set up projectors and switching systems and all this stuff, and he called himself the video samurai. And he explained to me the difference between a samurai and a ninja. Because I referred to him as the video ninja one time. He's like, no, I'm the video samurai. You know the difference?
Yeah, so samurai are it's more like a caste system. It's like nobility.
Yes. Well, and apparently ninjas were generally like assassins.
Yeah.
Samurai were more like guards. They would try to keep the ninjas from killing their patrons.
They were like the knights that worked for the nobles.
Yeah. Anyway, last thing we do is every month I announce a subscriber of the month, somebody who has been watching my channel and I see commenting and stuff like that. And actually, do you have that other picture ready? The one. So this person, and shout out, by the way, I saw Copper State Aerial in the chat earlier. Mike was here. I did not get your shirt out, your box out, your package, your prize package out, Mike. However, I'm going to send both yours and this month's next week, I promise, because I've just been, no excuses. I'll get it done. So thank you for your patience. But drum roll, please. I met this guy a long time ago and finally got to meet him in person. It's Dustin Gable, a.k.a. Crop Dustin, a.k.a. Dust in the Wind, a.k.a. Good Guy. It's great to finally meet him. That's him on my left, or actually on my right, left of the screen, and then there's Mel back there. And by the way, I'm going to have Mel on the show next month talking about building crawler trucks. Like he's been building a bunch of them. And here's something I got to ask you. Have you tried this yet? Have you put an air unit or any sort of FPV into a truck yet?
I have. I have a video on my channel of it, actually. I put analog in it, though. I didn't go digital because I figured I'd destroy it. I did wind up flipping the truck over and messing up some stuff. So,
well, I might hit you up for a little advice because I actually want to do that. That truck that you saw being chased by John Coopy earlier, Mel let me have that truck with the specific intention of I have an air unit that was in an FPV plane that I crashed. And so I have the air unit and the camera. I just need to put it in. I'm not even sure you can run an air unit like just a regular air or what's the smaller one called? Vista unit with just using the balance port on a battery, right?
It's going to take, I want to say 2S is the limit.
Yeah,
on
it's not
the low end for that.
Okay, so like a little 2S.
So you'll probably want a Beck. I ran mine on a Beck off of the main lead.
Okay. Well, let me talk to you. We'll talk. I might email you or something, just ask you some questions.
Yeah.
And if you have some ideas, because I basically want to make it self-contained, so that it has its own battery. Okay. And I'm going to build a little place in the canopy of the truck where I can put it and put the camera, and probably just Velcro it in there or something. Just something so I can pull it out. I just feel like it'd be really cool to try FPV on a bunch of different things. So like put it on an RC car, put it on an RC boat. Put it on a skateboard and see if you can skateboard while you're wearing goggles.
That would be cool.
Yeah. I just feel like what would it be like to ride a bike wearing RC goggles with the camera on the front of the bike,
seeing from the handle position.
Yeah. Like every time you turn, you see over there, and then you see over there. Yeah. I think it'd be trippy.
That would be cool.
Yeah. So anyway, congratulations, Dustin. I haven't seen him in the chat. He usually watches, but. It was really great to meet you out at Minefield, and thanks for. I'm actually sending Dustin. He showed me his shirt. I sent him a shirt a long time ago, not just because of he won some other contest. And his shirt was literally, you know how the print will start just coming off, like caking off.
His was
like that. Yeah, I was like, hey, you wear that shirt much? So,
yeah, he must.
So do you have a logo, Bacon Ninja?
I do. I actually drew it myself, and it's really cheesy.
Okay,
but I do.
Okay, can I see it on your YouTube channel? Is that where I would find it? Is it the little icon on your YouTube channel?
Yep, it's the icon on my YouTube.
Okay. Hold on, we're blowing it up here. We're bringing it up here.
It's going to be real fuzzy.
No, it's not too bad. All right.
It took me forever to draw the props as bacon, but I managed it somehow.
Yeah, and the motor, this motor is completely flown off the drone because of the crazy flips you're doing, and a dog is going to find it. You just send your dog out, and you're like, bacon.
If you make your props out of bacon, it will find it every time. Yeah.
Oh, how cool would it be to actually get raw bacon, put some little holes in it, put it on a motor, and see if you can get centrifugal force to make them. There's a video for you.
I've thought of using breakfast meat in various ways to make a quad. And also like layering it in resin and making the carbon plates out of it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But alas, no money to do it. Someday.
Yeah. Well, you need to get like Oscar Mayer or somebody to sponsor you, right?
They'll just send me a bunch of hot dogs. I don't want any of that.
Do you know Chris Rollins?
I do not.
Chris is a fellow YouTuber, drone guy. I've met him a few times, and he made a video where he took he made the world's fastest trash can. Let's see how many views that sucker has now. I think it's at
fastest trash can.
World's fast. Yeah, here Chris is going to bring it up here real quick. Yeah, this is the world's fastest trash can that he built, and he broke the record. The record had been like 40 something miles an hour, and he got it up to like 60.
He's in it.
He's in
He's
it.
Driving in the trash can.
Yes, he's driving in it. And I said to him, I was like, dude, the only thing missing from this video, he was my guest last month. The only thing missing from that video is flipping FPV chase, right? How cool would it be to chase that trash can?
Someone should have chased that. They absolutely should have chased that.
43 miles. Oh, no, 62. He smashed the record.
And totally could have done it with a 5-inch quad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, 62 is pretty fast, but I think you could keep up. Yeah. Anyway, that's our mission, man. If you and I ever do a road trip together, we're going to. Chris lives in Tyler, so we'll go to Tyler.
Oh, okay.
And it's not too bad. You come through Austin, pick me up, and we'll continue on. So.
Okay, just make a circle.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, thank you so much. Really great to meet you. Oh, yes, and I'm sure you're subscribed. I'm sure everyone in this chat is subscribed, but help a brother out. I'm at 199.99 something. What am I at? Hold on. Let me see if
You're pretty close.
You're so close.
To that 200, man.
Yeah, I've been. You know, it's funny. I thought it would get faster, but I kind of stalled out like around between 150 and 200. It's taken me forever. Like I got to 100. That took forever too. But like once I got momentum, it happened really fast. And then I stalled out. And then recently. Honestly, because of Mr. Chris over here helping me out so much, he's been a big part of me growing the channel again, which has been awesome. We've been growing, and I am 70 subscribers away. So call 70 of your friends.
Man. You can totally get that right now.
Yeah, come on. Operators are standing by. And if you call now, we'll give you this tote bag and a can of Dr. Pepper and an autographed Bacon Ninja t-shirt.
Sure. But you see, the trick is the tote bag is just an HEB sack, and the Dr. Pepper's already empty.
Right. It's a Dr. Pepper can. Hey, this is worth like 3 cents at the recycling center. So
if you get them in quantity, they're absolutely worth something.
Absolutely. All right, man. Well, hey, it was really awesome talking to you. Real quick, I don't know if you know, I do an event in October called Spin Up. It is happening this October 21st. If there was any way you could come out, it would be awesome. I mean, I don't know how long it would take you to drive to Austin? Maybe 6 hours?
Oh, man. 6 hours. The biggest problem is that with my job, I never get to go very far, and then the kids. And my daughter has, she's a type 1 diabetic, so I have to be around for every meal she eats.
Well, bring her along.
Yeah.
Road trip.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well,
If not this year, I will do it next year.
okay. Well, I really enjoyed meeting you and getting to talk to you and everything else. So thank you for your time. Thanks for. I understand your AC is not working in the studio, so you're.
Yeah, I'm starting to. If you can see the brows getting a little shiny up there.
Yeah, well, you were a trooper, man. I guess if you go out and fly in that parking lot, then you're training yourself.
Yeah.
But
this is easier than that. But yeah, I've really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll be talking soon. I'll hit you up when I start putting that air unit in the truck, and maybe you can give me some pointers on that.
Definitely. I want to see you do that. So anything you need, I'll help you out.
All right. Thanks, man. All right, everybody. You know how it is. Be safe out there and don't fly alone. We'll see you next month.
When I fly, I won't fly alone. I'm gonna fly with Ready, Set, Drone. 'Cause Ready, Set, Drone will always fly with me. Flying fast and flying free. Flying with friends is the life for me. 'Cause Ready, Set, Drone is my community. Goggles and rotors and FPV. Props and motors and ESCs. Gimbals and cameras are what we used to fly. Sharing stories and swapping tales, amazing triumphs and epic fails. And will you know if you don't ever try? Ready, set, drone, ready, set, drone. Spin up your props and plug in your phone. Fly with us and we think you'll agree. Ready, set, drone, ready, set, drone. What's the point of flying alone? Flying with friends will make you feel so free. Ready, set, drone. 'Cause Ready, set, drone will always fly with me. Flying fast and flying free. Flying with friends is the life for me. 'Cause Ready, set, drone is my community. Ready, set, drone, ready, set, drone. Spin up your props and plug in your phone. Fly with us and we think you'll agree. Ready, set, drone, ready, set, drone. What's the point of flying alone? Flying with friends will make you feel so free. Flying with friends will make you feel so free. Flying with friends will make you feel so free.